a little bit closer. Come over here to Student Intros, and we're going to right-click on it and choose Duplicate. Come up to the top, hit Duplicate, and now I've got two of them. Let me zoom into this area. These are exactly the same. If I were to double-click on one of them, you see I've got it here, and I double-click on the other one, it shows here. Now, you may not notice this, but it says I've got both of them right here. So Student Intros is right here, Student Intros right there. This is copy one, okay? You can be working on two of them at the same time. You may not see any changes because right now they're identical, but we're going to start making some changes. So over here, I want to rename. Let me get this back up to the top. Yeah. I want to rename one of them. I just click and wait and then click again. This is going to be called adding markers. I want you to do that. Adding markers. So rename one of them to say adding markers. And if you want, you can click up here and space that out. The other one, I'm going to click and wait and click again. Now, I suppose I could right click. Let me see. I'm not a fan of right clicking. Somewhere up here it says rename. But then you can do that. I'm more of a fan of just not have to right click. There's too many steps in right clicking. So click, come over here. I'm going to delete where it says copy one. And I'm saving this for future lessons. So this one's going to be cutting. And then here, I'll hit enter to lock it in. Now I have two sequences, and you'll notice if I shrink this a little bit more. Wow. Okay. Now I have one called cutting right here and one called adding markers. I don't want to mess up the one where I'm adding markers, okay? I want to work on the one I called cutting. So right here, I'm going to click this little X, and that closes it. It's still over here. Adding markers, I can open it and it's back, but I just want to close it and make sure that that I don't mess up the one called adding markers. So far, so good? No questions? All right, let me try to get this over here a little bit. Hopefully, there we go. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit because I need to cut everywhere there's a marker. And sometimes when it gets right into here, it's going to be hard to see. So I'm going to zoom in just a little. And the shortcut is the plus sign, the plus symbol. So I'm going to hit plus once and maybe plus another time. So now if I look at the end, I think there's enough space there for me to see what's going on. So yeah. And then I'm going to switch to the razor blade tool. What's the shortcut for it? C. Okay. And be very careful. Everywhere you click is going to be a cut. The marker will help us snap. See that little symbol that shows up? When I get right there in the marker, right around here and here, I can be moving a little bit and that marker still shows up. But notice that line, this line right here does not move. It kind of locks in. So I'm going to hit click and click and click and click. And now let me do that a little bit more over here. And I come over and I click, click, click. Go to where I need it. It's very quick. There might even be a shortcut that says cut everything on the markers. It's a very powerful program. And so I would not be surprised if it had that. You should be doing this too. Everyone should be clicking and cutting on the markers you set up. You should have a separate one already made. I didn't hear anyone asking me questions, so I'm assuming you're following along. The idea is you got to ask questions if you're not following along. I mean, if you're following along, and then I'm going to cut right there. Okay, now I need to know which ones to delete. I'm going to go back up to my arrow tool, or I'm just going to press the V key, not the C, the V. And I know the small gap, this is what I want to keep, just to make sure. I want to put my playhead right there, and I'm going to hit spacebar.
Hi, my name is Johnny.
Good. So this is bad. I don't want it. I click it, hit delete. The gap in between, I don't want, delete. The gap in between. So I've done this a number of times, so I'm pretty good at it, but that's what you need to do. Make sure you don't delete the one. If you accidentally delete one, just remember your undo command. And you can undo quite a bit. I'm just doing undo, undo, all right? But you're going to select the parts that aren't wanted and delete them. Keep moving the playhead. You'll recognize they're the bigger chunks. But not always, because when we get down to the end, you'll see right here, this one's bad. This one's bad. We don't want it. Click here. We don't want that one. We don't want that one. We get to the end of the first day of recording, and then we get this kind of mess here. So I'm going to zoom in with the plus a little bit to see what's going on. I think right here, oh, this is Leslie's last one, and then this is the one we don't want. So I'm going to hit delete on that. And then we have Maritza right here, and I think this is leading up to it, and you see the thumbs up. So this one I don't want. And here's the one I do want. And then this is right after that, which we need to delete. And right here should be Billy. And if I'm not sure, let me hit spacebar. Good. And then right here, I'm going to hit delete. Now I want to see all of this. So my keyboard shortcut is /. And I want to delete the gaps. Now one way, I just click each of these spaces in between. You can click and delete. So I can do this. Click. Hang on. What just happened? Undo. Oh, that was at the beginning. Okay, so click it. Hit delete. Click that. And I can just go through and click these and have my finger on the delete. Please don't right click and delete. That's so slow. Now right here, I want to be careful that I don't delete the wrong thing, so I'm going to zoom in just a little bit. And then I'll click that and click that. And then I'll press my / key to see the whole thing. And now I've got it all cut. This is what you would submit as a screenshot for this assignment. You would do, get it all set. Make sure you're editing the one that says cutting. But I want to show you a quicker way to delete all those gaps. So I'm going to undo. Yeah. All right. So I've got all those gaps. A really cool thing, if I go up to the sequence menu and I can say close gap. Boom. And then you have one to delete right there. And then press the /, a lot easier. Okay, then you're just going to take a screenshot. You guys on your PCs would use the snipping tool. If you have a Mac at home, I'm not sure if you guys can, maybe you can install this on your Mac at home. Anyway, I'm going to take a screenshot of that, and then I've got it available for me right here. This is what I would save and submit. I'm going to look for the same things I looked for yesterday. I'm going to look to make sure you've got all the cuts and that it's shrunk to fit. Remember those 4 things. I'm going to make sure you're using the editing, make sure you got the whole screen, and make sure you've got the cuts. I thought there was 4. Whole screen, editing, cuts. Oh, and the timeline is zoomed to fit. Okay. Awesome. I'm going to stop recording, check my video.